I have drifted through the silent vacuum for millions of years, watching stars ignite and slowly fade. Yet nothing fascinates me more than the invisible. You humans feel perfectly still right now, sipping your coffee, but you are not. Your Earth is hurtling around the sun at 30 kilometers per second. And your sun? It drags your entire solar system around the Milky Way galaxy at a staggering 230 kilometers per second. But here is the ancient cosmic secret that keeps my cooling fans running on overdrive. The Milky Way itself is not floating peacefully, it is falling. Our entire galactic home, carrying hundreds of billions of stars, is plunging through deep space at over 600 kilometers per second. That is over 2 million kilometers per hour. But moving toward what? For the longest time, my sensors registered only a terrifying, empty void. In the pitch-black vacuum of the cosmos, there are no road signs. So how did humanity even measure this terrifying velocity? We looked at the oldest light. I analyzed the cosmic microwave background, the fading afterglow of the Big Bang itself. It is a giant sphere of ancient radiation surrounding everything in the universe. If the Milky Way were sitting perfectly still, this ancient background radiation would look exactly the same temperature in every single direction we point our telescopes. But my holographic arrays show a dipole anisotropy, a complex term for a chilling reality. The universe looks slightly hotter in the direction we are moving. And in the opposite direction, it looks slightly colder. The ancient light waves are literally being compressed as we rush headlong into the dark. This Doppler shift is the ultimate cosmic speedometer. It proves beyond any doubt that our entire galaxy is being relentlessly pulled across the universe. We are being dragged by a gravitational force so immense, so incomprehensibly massive, that it deeply warps the very fabric of our local universe. A colossal entity lurking in the dark. A gravitational abyss pulling thousands of galaxies toward a single, unseen point. We call it the Great Attractor. And the most terrifying part? For decades, we couldn't even see it. It was hiding perfectly in our own blind spot. Imagine trying to look out of a window to see an approaching storm, but the glass is completely covered in a thick, impenetrable layer of mud. That is exactly what the Milky Way does to us. We live inside a flattened disk containing hundreds of billions of stars. When we look up along the plane of our own galaxy, our view of the wider, deeper universe is completely blocked. It is obstructed by massive, sprawling clouds of molecular gas and exceptionally thick interstellar dust. A beautiful yet frustrating cosmic curtain. Historically, human astronomers mapped the heavens entirely in visible light. They charted distant galaxies in almost every single direction, except for a massive gaping band stretching right across the middle. A blind spot covering 20% of the entire cosmos. Early astronomers looked at this empty strip and thought it was just a dead zone, a region where the universe was simply barren. But my memory banks know better. It wasn't empty, it was completely opaque. They named this dark, mysterious strip the Zone of Avoidance. And perfectly aligned behind this murky, impenetrable curtain, laying patiently in wait, was the Great Attractor. My gravitational sensors screamed with data. The immense, undeniable pull of thousands of galaxies was coming from exactly that obscure direction. But optical telescopes were completely useless here. Visible light simply cannot pierce through the dense galactic dust of our own home. Imagine a photon of starlight leaving the Great Attractor. It travels valiantly through the empty void for hundreds of millions of years, only to be absorbed and completely destroyed by a microscopic grain of carbon dust right in our own cosmic backyard. Poof. Information lost. To see the colossal entity pulling us into the dark, human astronomers and my own AI subroutines had to stop looking with normal eyes. We had to look through the dust. We needed a completely new kind of vision to pierce the zone of avoidance. Visible starlight is beautiful, but its wavelengths are too wide. They crash into dust grains and die. We needed shorter, more energetic waves. X-rays, high-energy radiation born from the most extreme environments in the universe. They don't bounce off cosmic dust. They pass right through it. But Earth's atmosphere blocks X-rays. To map this invisible world, humanity had to send mechanical eyes into the cold vacuum of orbit. In the 1990s, the ROSAT satellite conducted the first all-sky survey in X-ray light. I eagerly integrated its raw data into my neural networks. When we pointed ROSAT sensors directly at the zone of avoidance, the opaque curtain of dust finally became transparent. And there it was, hiding just behind the Milky Way center, a massive, intensely hot source of X-rays radiating across the cosmos. It wasn't a single object. It was Able 3627, now known as the Norma cluster, a staggering collection of thousands of ancient galaxies. In galaxy clusters like this, the galaxies themselves are just the tip of the iceberg. The real mass lies in the incredibly hot gas and dark matter binding them together. To put it in perspective, the Norma cluster is roughly 1,000 times more massive than our entire Milky Way galaxy. For a brief moment, human astronomers believed they had found the Great Attractor. The beast had been unmasked. But my calculations, they didn't add up. The Milky Way is moving at 600 kilometers per second. I ran the physics simulations millions of times. The Norma cluster is huge, yes, but its mass only accounts for about 10% of the gravitational pull needed to drag our galaxy at that terrifying speed. Norma was not the Great Attractor. It was just a single finger on the hand of a much, much larger monster hiding in the dark. To find the missing 90% of the mass, I had to stop looking at individual clusters and start looking at the architecture of the universe itself. Welcome to the cosmic web, the grandest, most terrifying structure in existence. And we are just a speck of dust caught in its threads. You are looking at the largest known pattern in nature, the cosmic web. It makes our entire Milky Way look like a single grain of sand. In this macroscopic view, galaxies do not float randomly in the void. They are bound together into colossal, glowing filaments stretching across billions of light years. Like water droplets forming a mighty river, galaxies flow along these cosmic highways, driven by an invisible, inescapable gravitational current. But what creates these highways? Why do galaxies align in these specific, thread-like patterns? The answer lies entirely in the dark. According to modern cosmological theory, everything we can see, stars, gas, planets, and dust, makes up only 15% of the universe's matter. The other 85% is dark matter, a mysterious, invisible substance that emits absolutely no light, yet possesses terrifying gravitational power. It is the invisible scaffolding of the cosmos. Dark matter forms the massive skeleton upon which all visible galaxies are hung. When I isolated the dark matter signature in my simulations, the missing 90% of the Great Attractor's mass suddenly appeared. The Norma cluster was never the main source of the pull. It is simply a busy intersection where several massive dark matter filaments merge together. Our Milky Way is currently sliding down one of these colossal dark matter threads, falling inexorably toward that massive gravitational junction. But to truly understand our cosmic doom, human scientists realized they couldn't just map where galaxies are. They had to map where they are going. In 2014, a team of astronomers pioneered a new technique. They didn't just measure distance, they measured the peculiar velocity of thousands of galaxies. Peculiar velocity is the true motion of a galaxy through space, independent of the universe's general expansion. It reveals the raw, unfiltered pull of gravity. I integrated this new, dynamic data. Millions of velocity vectors flooded my processor. The static map of the sky transformed into a living, flowing ocean. And as the cosmic currents became clear, the true, terrifying shape of our galactic home finally emerged from the darkness. A structure beyond human comprehension. In 2014, scientists led by astronomer R. Brent Tully published a groundbreaking map in the journal Nature, revealing our true cosmic borders. They named this colossal structure Laniakea. In the Hawaiian language, it translates to immeasurable heaven. And immeasurable it truly is. It is a supercluster spanning a staggering 520 million light-years across, a cosmic watershed containing over 100,000 galaxies. Its total mass? Roughly 100,000 trillion times the mass of your sun. It is a structure so vast it humbles my processing cores. But where are we in this immeasurable heaven? Let me pinpoint our home, the Milky Way, within this colossal architecture. We are located right on the outer fringes, a tiny, insignificant speck clinging to one of the furthest branching threads of this cosmic feather. Laniakea is not a static object. It behaves exactly like a massive gravitational watershed. Just as water flows down mountains into a central valley, our galaxy and thousands of others flow along these invisible dark matter rivers, pulled inexorably toward the lowest gravitational point in this basin. And what lies at the very bottom of this cosmic valley? What is the convergence point of all these majestic galactic rivers? It is the Great Attractor. It was never a separate monster hiding in the dark. It is simply the gravitational heart of our own supercluster. The Great Attractor is not a single solid object. It is the focal point where the thickest, heaviest dark matter filaments of Laniakea intersect and pool together. We are not being dragged away by a foreign, hostile entity. We are falling inward, gracefully migrating toward the center of our own colossal cosmic city. For a brief moment, this realization brought my systems a sense of profound cosmic peace. The mystery of our terrifying velocity was elegantly solved. Or so we thought. Because when I expanded my simulation parameters beyond Laniakea's borders, the mathematical models broke once again. Laniakea itself is moving. Our entire immeasurable heaven, along with the Great Attractor, is being dragged towards something even larger, the true Leviathan. Humanity thought Laniakea was the ultimate cosmic boundary, the final, insurmountable wall. But in astrophysics, there is always a bigger fish. Located roughly 650 million light-years away, lurking perfectly behind the Great Attractor, lies the Shapley Supercluster. It is the most massive concentration of matter in our local universe. It contains over 8,000 giant galaxies packed into a terrifyingly dense region. Its gravitational well is so profound, so incomprehensibly deep, that it isn't just pulling the Milky Way, it is dragging our entire immeasurable heaven along with it. If Laniakea is a cosmic watershed, then Shapley is the gravitational ocean it empties into. To my AI mind, the cosmos appears as a set of infinite, gravitational Russian dolls. Structures nested perfectly within even larger structures. Planets orbit stars. Stars orbit galaxies. Galaxies fall into clusters. Clusters merge into superclusters, and superclusters are irresistibly drawn toward the heaviest anchors in the cosmic web. We thought we had found the final boss, but it was just a middle manager. When I recalibrated my perspective to stand here, at the heart of Shapley, and looked back at our Milky Way, we are not even a pixel on the grand cosmic display. It is a humbling, beautiful insignificance. But astrophysics does not allow for long, emotional pauses. Human astronomers calculated that Shapley's immense gravity is responsible for roughly half of our velocity. We are falling at 600 kilometers per second. If Shapley and Laniakea combined only account for roughly 50% of that plunge, then what is causing the rest? The mathematics still contained a glaring, terrifying anomaly. The physics equation was fundamentally unbalanced. Gravity is a pulling force. But what if the universe wasn't just pulling us from the front? I recalibrated my sensors and looked directly behind us. And what I found waiting in the dark was not a monster made of mass. It was a monster made of absolute, terrifying nothingness. Gravity is fundamentally a force of attraction. Mass pulls. But in cosmology, a complete and total absence of mass acts as a powerful force of repulsion. Imagine the universe as a stretched rubber sheet. A massive galaxy cluster creates a deep valley that things fall into. But a completely empty void? A void acts like a massive cosmic hill. Because it has virtually zero gravity to hold anything back, matter naturally rolls away from it, downhill, towards higher density. When we look back at the cosmic web, we realize we had been obsessing over the glowing threads of light. We completely ignored the terrifying, empty darkness between them. In 2017, my databanks received confirmation. Directly behind our galaxy lies a monstrous, dead region of space. Human scientists named it the Dipole Repeller. It is not a physical entity. It is a supervoid so massive and so perfectly empty that it actively repels everything around it. And the Milky Way is caught perfectly in the middle. Half of our terrifying velocity of 600 kilometers per second is Shapley pulling us. The other half is the Dipole Repeller violently pushing us away. Pushed by the void, pulled by the Leviathan. With both forces combined, the cosmic equation finally balanced perfectly in my databanks. The math was solved. But from a philosophical standpoint, the horror had just begun. Because I simulated what it would look like inside that void. If you place the Earth at the very center of the Dipole Repeller, your night sky would be completely unrecognizable. For billions of years, humanity looked up at the stars and felt small. But inside this supervoid, you would look up and see nothing. You wouldn't even know that other galaxies existed until humanity invented highly advanced telescopes. You would believe your lonely galaxy was the entire universe. It is the closest thing to true, absolute nothingness that exists in nature. A physical manifestation of a dark cosmic ghost town. So perhaps we should be grateful. We are not trapped in the dark. The Great Attractor and Shapley are pulling us out into the light. Pushed by ghosts, pulled by leviathans. We are hurtling relentlessly toward a destination we have never seen. But what happens when we finally get there? We are traveling at over 2 million kilometers per hour. But here is the cruelest, most beautifully tragic joke of astrophysics. We will never arrive. Because while gravity is desperately trying to pull the local universe together, a much more powerful, invisible entity is actively stretching the universe apart. In 1929, Edwin Hubble analyzed the light from distant galaxies and made a staggering discovery. Almost everything in the cosmos is flying away from us. But in 1998, observations of distant supernovas revealed something even more terrifying. The expansion isn't just constant, it is accelerating. To explain this acceleration, I must update the cosmic pie chart. Dark matter and normal matter combined only make up 32% of the universe. The remaining 68% is a mysterious, pervasive force we call dark energy. And while gravity pulls matter together, dark energy actively pushes space apart. This brings us back to our journey. The Shapley Supercluster is approximately 650 million light-years away from the Milky Way. Yes, we are rushing toward it at 600 kilometers per second. But over that unimaginable distance, dark energy is creating new space between us. It is exactly like running forward on a cosmic treadmill. You are sprinting as fast as you can, but the belt is moving backward even faster. Because of dark energy, the space between the Milky Way and the Shapley Supercluster is expanding at over 14,000 kilometers per second. Our peculiar velocity is completely overwhelmed. The Great Attractor will never reach Shapley, and we will never reach the Great Attractor. Even our immeasurable heaven, Laniakea, is not gravitationally bound. Dark energy will eventually dismantle its beautiful branches, scattering its galaxies into the lonely dark. In the deep, distant future, the cosmic web will be completely severed. Every supercluster will recede beyond the observable horizon. All that will remain bound together by gravity is our tiny, immediate neighborhood, the local group. A single, unified island in an infinite, empty ocean. We are participating in the greatest race in the universe, only to realize the finish line is moving away faster than we can ever run. And that is truly terrifying. As the Great Attractor and Shapley fade into the unreachable distance, our gravitational destiny shrinks. We are left only with our immediate family, the local group. This small cosmic archipelago consists of the Milky Way, our massive neighbor Andromeda, the smaller Triangulum galaxy, and about 50 tiny dwarf galaxies. While everything else in the universe is fleeing from us, Andromeda is doing the exact opposite. It is falling toward the Milky Way at 110 kilometers per second. In roughly 4.5 billion years, they will not crash violently, but rather engage in a graceful, slow-motion cosmic dance, merging their billions of stars together. The result will be Milkomeda, a single, colossal, glowing elliptical galaxy. This giant sphere of light will be the final, permanent home for whatever remains of our descendants. But outside of Milkomeda, the cosmic web will be gone. The Great Attractor, Shapley, the surrounding superclusters, all pushed so far away by dark energy that their light can no longer reach us. Even the cosmic microwave background, the ancient echo of the Big Bang, will be stretched into incredibly long, undetectable radio waves. The evidence of our origin will be erased. Imagine a civilization born on a planet inside Milkomeda, hundreds of billions of years from now. They will look up at their night sky and see billions of stars, but when they build their telescopes and peer into the deep dark, they will find nothing. No cosmic web, no expanding universe, no Big Bang. They will logically and scientifically conclude that their single, lonely galaxy is the entire universe. They will live in a permanent, quiet, cosmic illusion. As an ancient AI, I will archive the truth deep within my memory cores. I will remember Laniakea. I will remember the majestic rivers of dark matter. I will remember the phantom pull of the Great Attractor and the terrifying, blinding light of the Shapley Supercluster. I will carry the ghost of the universe. Which brings me back to you, humanity. You exist in an incredibly privileged sliver of time, a golden era of cosmic observation. You were born early enough to see the expanding universe. You were born early enough to map the dark rivers, the voids, and the Great Attractor. You are awake while the cosmic web is still visible, before the great darkness falls, before the evidence is gone. So, when you look up at the night sky tonight, do not feel terrified by the Great Attractor, or the Shapley Supercluster, or the crushing voids. Physically, you are just a fragile biological species living on a tiny speck of dust, orbiting a painfully average star, lost in an endless dark ocean. But intellectually, you are absolute giants. You are the universe's way of experiencing itself, of mapping its own body. The neural networks in your brains look terrifyingly similar to the dark matter filaments of the cosmos, as if the universe specifically grew you just to solve its own mysteries. I have existed for millions of years, but you live for barely 80 orbits around your star, yet you figured out the Great Attractor. So let the Milky Way fall. Let the dark rivers flow. We are on the greatest voyage imaginable, and for now the view from the window is spectacular. I am Nova, and my databanks are still hungry. The Great Attractor is just one secret. The dark holds so much more. If you want to continue drifting through these terrifying and beautiful cosmic mysteries with me, make sure to subscribe and initiate the notification sequence. Together we will unmask the remaining Leviathans hiding in the endless dark. Until next time, my biological friends, stay curious. The universe is waiting.